Okay, so it is started. So first of all, welcome to High Entropy and thanks for clicking. And it's day 48 of DSA learning, and yeah, that's pretty much about introduction. And I'm here to learn and explain you the way the way I'm learning to the people, to the audience. Like okay, and my goal is simple. Like here, it's a kind of like I read a book, Atomic Habit. There I found okay, if you wanted to make something as a habit, then you should have something that triggers you, that it makes you like a makes a cue. Okay, I wanted to do this. It's a kind of like a so that's the pretty much about it. Like that's why I started learning, and you can see like every day I'm uploading, every not uploading, I'm streaming, and I'm solving at least one problem. But nowadays I'm noticing more about it. Like okay, one solving one problem won't be enough if you wanted to crack interviews and you wanted to go into big companies. So far that like I need to like I'm today only I'm just evaluating myself with ChatGPT, and sometime with this even I'm working. Like if you ever like if you will watch the videos of this channel, there are some spoken English videos, and there is one more reason for streaming, that I'll talk in English. I have to talk in English. So yeah, but little I'm today I'm looking like little serious because I'm really a little serious about my career, what I'm doing, and it's not going great. I don't know. Sometimes like today one thing I read, I learned from ChatGPT. It's like expectation have grown faster than your skills. So I have written here. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a expectation have grown faster than your skills. Okay, so yeah, definitely my expectations are high, and comparatively I'm still unskilled compared to what I wanted to do. So maybe soon, or maybe tomorrow after having dinner. So I'm gonna out for dinner, and after that, maybe I'll be back and I'll solve a few more problems. I'm just thinking like, should I start AI? I have confusion. Like I wanted to learn AI, and it's been long time I'm procrastinating, or I'm just postponing it. So maybe I'll start streaming that I am in the night. So I'm planning like okay, let's see. It's better like I'll work on execution instead of just telling you planning. So yeah, let's jump into the problem and solve it. And I'm targeting like if I can solve it in within the 30 minutes, then I can go out for dinner. And that's very like it's been two days I'm in the I'm living like a house arrest person who is spending their lives. I don't like it, but somehow I'm feeling like I'm trapping myself in the room and all. So let's jump into the triangle problem and let's solve it. So right now we are solving the dynamic programming problems, or DP problems in short form. Given a 2D array named triangle with n rows. Okay, 2D array with n rows. Its first row has one element, and each succeeding row okay, has one more element in it than that of then the row above it. Okay, so one row, like it will be right angle triangle, you can say. Return the minimum falling paths sum from the first row to the last, to the bottom and bottom right shell from the current. Okay, so it's similar to the above problems, bottom right. We already covered this problem. Only the thing is like here the boundary condition is changing every time. So you can say j, you will decide based on the value of I. What will be the j? It's not big problem, man. Let's solve it quickly. So you have given something like okay, let me note it down. 1 1 2 1 2 4. Now I need to find out minimum falling path sum. It's similar to the last problem. If you say minimum falling path sum. Okay, wow, great. Okay, let's see the numbers. What can it be? So it can be negative 10 to the power 4 to the positive 10 to the power 4. Earlier it was like a minus 1000 to triangle 0 dot length equals to 1. Okay, so first value will be 1 length. The answer will not exceed 10 to the power 9. Okay, triangle I length will be triangle I minus 1 plus 1. Okay, one more than the previous one. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. They haven't given any much information, I mean any further information. So yeah, so idea is simple, like boundaries changing every time. So every time you have two options, either you can go uh, towards right. Okay, it's even simple, or you can go bottom. Okay, earlier we were having. So you have two options. Okay, first thing is like you have to move to the end, and now still you have two options. Like either you can start with there, and also you can move towards rightward direction. Yeah, so great. So first thing, let's think about the base condition. What will be? So at every step, I mean I and j, there are two things. First, you can go towards right and towards bottom. And if you are at ith location, then what are the number of columns? And if you can say, if I, when you will be able to move towards right, just think about it. I mean, if there is number of columns will be same as the number of row. So if I, then it will be having 1, I equals to 1, then 1. If I equals to 2, 2, I equals to 3, there will be 3, similar to that. So if I equals to 0, means there will be one column. So you can say j equals to 0. And yeah, I think I equals to 1, that means j can be less than equals to 1. Yeah, number of columns, so it will be equals to I. So if j is greater than I, okay, that means you cannot go to this direction simply. And I'll tell you in this simpler way. If you know number of, like, if we are at one row, there are one column. I mean, yeah, if second row, two columns, you can think of like that. So number of rows, the row number is equals to number of columns. And so if 0, then that means there will be one column, and forward that, like j will start from 0, so you can think of like 0. Okay, so I and j we got from the input based on it. So what we'll do, we will create a function and we'll call with I value and j value. At a starting it will be 0, and you will start like if I equals to, okay. Now we need to think about the base conditions. What are the base conditions? Okay, first thing, just think about it. Like when you are at the I equals to n minus 1, j equals to n minus 1, number of rows, I'm taking n. Okay, so you notice like this is the last element of this block. Here you will see this one. Now you cannot move further either here and here, so you don't have any options to move right or bottom. So simply you will say, okay, this is the point where we need to return value. And for all other you have options. Like if you are here, still you don't have bottom options, but you have option to this. So that's why. So these are the options. Like if you'll say I equals to n minus 1, j equals to n minus 1, then return the value. And at each step, like when I equals to n minus 1, then you have two options. First, this is result, okay, and second, get the result from right side. And each step you will do one more thing. Like you, if you are here, you can say, okay, now I have two options. I can get the result. I mean, I can if I can get this result and whatever you are getting from right. So you will say, okay, whatever the minimum is from these two, I'll return it to previous one. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. Still, I think there will be confusion between for you, might be. So let's see how we are going to tackle it with tabular approach. I'm just thinking about that. No, it will be easy. No worries. What is time right now? 9:53. So okay, let's solve. Let's create a function first. I'm just planning to cover it within the. Then I'll go out for dinner first. Then I'll be back and I'll stream more. So function will be I. We are going to provide j. We are going to provide that will start from 0 0, and we are going to provide mem. And what will else we have? We'll be having table triangle that they are calling. So let's say God. So let's say triangle. Let's call it matrix. Triangle only. Let's call it. And we'll get no need to get off. No need to find the. Okay. Only we'll be needing for n. N will be nothing but the last row, because m or number of columns you can say okay it won't be there. So if I equals to n minus 1 and j equals to n minus 1, then simply return you can say triangle of I and j. Okay, you can return it directly. Else if or maybe before it, like you don't need to. Okay, I'll do one thing. You can check the boundary condition. That is very important, and you should always check before it. Wow. So yeah, if I is greater than n minus 1, okay, or you can say I equals to I greater than equals to n. So and or yeah, or j is greater than equals to not equals to greater than n minus 1, then simply you forget one thing. If j is greater than I, yeah, then simply it's hitting the boundary condition. Return 0. Else we are getting to this condition. And now let's check one more thing. If mem of I and j, we have some value greater than. Okay, so just I'm thinking like what could be. So it could be negative, it could be positive. So we'll take if greater than. I mean, yeah, it's not equals to float INF. If it's not the infinite value, that means okay, the value is available there, and return mem of I and j. Okay, great. Otherwise, what we need to do? Two things we need to do. Bottom right, okay. So at each step you are going to call two things. So first thing is right. You will call right, okay. So you will say okay. Right will be nothing but function of I. You will be in the same row, and you will call j plus 1, and all other things will be same. Otherwise you will call bottom, and that will be something like fun of I, and j will remain the same, and I will become I plus 1, and you will keep same, and you will find the min of both, and your result will be I'm just going to add triangle of I and j plus min of right and bottom. Okay, so we got this result, and we added the uh, current current cell value, and then whatever the result that we are going to get, whatever result, we'll store it into memory of I, and J will be result, and finally return result. Are there any challenges? Okay, let's take example. If you are at I equals to n minus 1, I mean here, so what you will do, you will call right side, you will call here, and when you will call, it will be over greater than this, so you will get 0 from this location. I mean, somewhere I did 0, right? That's where some is, like when we are writing on the paper, it's great. It will be infinite, otherwise 0, like it could be some cells, like a summation could come 0, and we need minimum, so it could be negative, it could be positive, anything. Yeah, so that's about this solution. So I'm just gonna solve it. 858 okay. So you will say n is nothing but length of triangle, because we have only one n. Now you will say result is nothing but solve I, J, and triangle mem, that's all, and n. Okay, we got the n. We need to construct memory. I equals to 0, J equals to 0, and memory will be nothing but, that will be something like, okay, definitely we can't create triangular memory, so we are going to create same, and here we are going to fill all the values, but we are not going to use them. Float of minus inf, no inf, and for underscore in, you can say range in, so how many columns should be there, n by n, you can say matrix we need to create, in range n, we are going to fill all for underscore in range n. Okay, so this will be our memory, result, return. Okay, I'll copy it same, and we forgot it, self dot solve. N equals to, I mean, yeah, what needs to be done here. So okay, first thing, if, let's check boundary condition, if I greater than n minus 1, right, or J greater than I, return float of inf. First thing, I equals to greater than n minus 1, or J greater than I, J value is greater than I, then that definitely I equals to 0, then 0 till 0. Okay, so great. So I got, and now second step is we need to check base condition. If that was the first one is boundary condition, second is the base condition. So here we need to check if I equals to n minus 1 and j equals to n minus 1, that is final element. So return simply triangle of I and j. There's no, we don't have any options. Else, if this is not the case, we need to check memory. Do we have any result for it? IJ, simply, that means we already checked all the conditions. So now you can see, okay, safely say is not equals to float of inf, that means it's not the ready-made value, or you can say dummy value. So return memory of I and j. Okay, and finally you can say left, not left, bottom, you will say okay, self dot solve, and here you are gonna provide I. So bottom, if it is, then I number of rows, row will increase, row value will increase, I and j will remain same, and triangle and mem and n we are going to provide, and right will, that means the row will remain same but column will change. Will add on one column. Self dot solve I and j plus 1 triangle memory and n. We are passing these two values, so we will get result will be nothing but first thing we need to add the cell value. So you can say triangle of, I'm not adding here because anyway it's not going to change the result. Okay, the simple is like whatever you are getting min from these two you can add and the value will be same. Triangle of I and j, and plus you can say, okay, plus it will be min of bottom and right, and finally you will say okay, I need to store it, so you will say okay, mem of I and j will be nothing but result and return result. Wow, so it's done. I believe it's done. Woohoo. Wow, one thing, I just haven't returned the result. I think I have covered all the things, right? If I'm not making any mistake. Three thing. One, two. Okay, let's see what's wrong with it. Where is example? Yeah, definitely you will say okay. Got it. Okay, one more thing we need to do, like bottom if touching, then that is also one possible option. So you will say okay, uh, I'm not doing that right now, I'm just relying on bottom and right. So that means you are completely focusing on the last element. So but here if you'll say, if wait a minute. Got it. You don't need to. Okay, so it will be something like if I equals to n minus 1, man, then you will do one thing, in one more thing. Result will be nothing but min of these things, and also you will say triangle of I and j, because you know this is also one option. You just return the result instead of exploring these options and adding it. Maybe you are getting negative value, then because of that you will get more, but still we'll see, we need to see. Else we didn't just need to do one thing only. I think now it's perfect. Yeah, perfect. Wow, are you playing with me? I'm getting more value, right? Come on, man. It's not. I'm not expecting it. I just wanted to go out. God, for God's sake, finish it quickly. 1 4 7 and then 4 5 4 10 50 50 minus 50 5 6 minus 100 minus 50 5 600. Okay, so one thing is like here you can get this. How am how am I getting minus 130? For God's sake, what the heck? Ah, fire is wrong. 1 4 7. Okay, it will start with this one 0 0. It will call. Okay, here you won't get this, so it will call the first thing. Self. I is greater than n minus 1 or j greater than I. 0. It will be 0. 1. It will be 1 till 1. Bottom self solve I plus 1 j. You got the bottom. So you suppose you are here. So you will call bottom, you will call right, and it will call right, it will call this, it will call this, it will call this, and it will call this, and you will say okay, if it is this, then you won't call anything and you will return it. So it will return 100. It will say 6. What are the different options? You will say 6 and 100. So which is the minimum? You will say okay, it's 6. Obviously it will be 6. So okay, you will say okay, it's 6. Then I'll say it to you. No, 1 minute. When you are here, what are the different options? You will say 6. I'm gonna return 6. I can return, or I can return 100 from the right, or float INF. So you will say okay, I'm returning 6 because that is the minimum. 6, not 100, but 100 plus 6, 106. So okay, you will say okay, now this, what is the minimum value? Oh, 3294, 3189. Oh, okay. One thing. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'll do one thing. Let me first copy paste the code. I have to go out anyhow because it's been many days. I'm not going out. I just want to have out. I'll be back. It's bad, man. What the heck are you doing? God. I will be back, guys. And literally, I just wanted to go out. I was expecting I'll solve it before 10, but something is not going good. I will keep everything as it is. I will just stop it.